pals. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I hope you are all doing well, following directions. I know Mrs. Van Horn's been doing a great job. And remember, it is hard being new in a classroom and not knowing exactly what to do. But as you can see, I'm at home right now, but I wanted to provide you a math lesson online versus just doing worksheets and such. So today I'll be doing kind of our normal thing on a flip chart. You will have to pause this video in order to do the problems to have enough time. I'm not just going to sit here and wait. I cannot see you, unfortunately, but I know Mrs. Van Horn can. And so what you'll need, not yet, is a whiteboard, your marker, and your eraser. Just like we were in the classroom, we would do the problems on the board, you would do them on your whiteboard. So that's what we're going to try today. It's going to be interesting, very different. So let's just make the best of this and see what we can do. I will remind you, Mrs. Van Horn, pause the video at any time that the kids need more time, and then just we'll go over the questions, the answers. So let's see how this goes, and maybe I'll be posting some more videos for us to look at. So let's see. Alrighty, so we are in subtraction. Now we are about to get into subtraction with regrouping in the hundreds, the tens, and the ones place. So we have a lot of rules to follow this time, and I want to make sure that we're being very careful. So this first screen is just all about when you're subtracting. We do not always have to regroup. I have a new rhyme for you. So if there's more on top, don't stop. If there's more on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So if we see our numbers, we have our top and then the bottom. The bottom part, we're calling it, is the floor. So if there's more on top, don't stop. You can just keep on subtracting here. So if it was 8 minus 0, well, that's pretty easy. It is simply just 8. So we can just do that problem. 6 minus 4, same thing. More on top, don't stop. So 6 minus 4, I'm going to just grab the 4 and count up 4, 5, 6. So it's 2. There are 2 digits in between 4 and 6. So that answer would be 28. Now the other part of that rhyme, if there's more on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So you cannot do 0 minus 4. There's more on the floor, that's this digit, so we have to go next door, cross it out. I'm going to use my red. Cross that out. The 9, we're taking a 10 away, so it becomes 8. And we're giving that 10 to the ones place. So this 0 now becomes 10. So now we have 10 minus 4. More on top, don't stop. So we can do that one. 10 minus 4 is 6. I hope some of you were able to know that quickly. And then we can keep going. 8 minus 5, just check really quick. 8 is bigger on top, so we can do that. So grab your 5, count up to 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 3. Okay, so that's a quick little rhyme that I want you to really try to remember because it's important. We cannot subtract if the top digit, the top number, is less than the bottom. So let's go over some regrouping with hundreds, tens, and ones. So I wrote our problem 2 different ways, 432 minus 178. Now we always have to stack it. Now my stacking did not line up perfectly. Try your best to make yours line up perfectly so then you don't get confused. So let's see, 2 minus 8. More on top, don't stop. Nope. More on the floor, go next door. So we are going to have to borrow in this case. So I'm going to build our number with our base 10 blocks. So 400, double check, sometimes I make mistakes, double check that I get the right amount. I need 3 tens and 2 ones. Okay, so I have my 432. Now I need to take away 8 from the 2. I do not have 8 to take away. So this is when we need to go next door and borrow 10 more. So you would cross off the 3 because you're taking a 10 away. It now becomes 2. So let's go ahead and do that. We're taking this 10 away and we're giving it to the ones place. So my 2 ones becomes 12 ones. So let me show you that. I'm going to break apart this 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I added 10. I should have 12 ones total. So here's a 10 frame that I made plus 2 more. 12. We're good. So now I have 12, and I can now take away 8. So I could simply cross them off, or I could just throw them away. That's what I'm going to do because it's a little bit faster. So I'm going to take 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if I can just collect these. Oh yeah. Just double check that there's 8. Check. We are getting rid of those. We are taking them away. How many do we have left? 4. Awesome. So 12 minus 8 is 4. Okay, well, let's see what we have next. Now we have 2. Remember, we crossed out the 3. Now we're in our tens place. So we have 2 tens minus 7. Well, we can't do that because the top is smaller than our bottom number. So we have to go next door and borrow 10 more. So let's do that first with our digits. So cross off the next door. The 4 becomes a 3. And because my 3 tens turned to 2 tens, I'm just going to add that 10 or that 100 that I borrowed, and it's really 12 tens. So let me show you what we do that in base 10 blocks. We take our 10 from the 100, and we're going to bring it to the tens place. Now we're going to break apart this 100. So I need to put 100 tens here. Double check that I count properly. Make sure that I have 12 tens. So I already have 2, I need 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 8 didn't come. 8, 9, 10. So yep, I'm using this whole entire space, so I could delete that. Okay, let's just check that I have 12. So I have 5, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Now I can do the math. I can do 12 minus 7. So I need to take away 7. So here's 2. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. How many tens do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tens. So 12 minus 7 is 5. If you don't believe me, go check that number line. Count up if you need to. It is 5. And now finally we can subtract our hundreds. 3 minus 1. Well, more on top, don't stop. So we can do that. So I have 3 hundreds. I'm taking away 1. Easy peasy. I have 2 hundreds left. So my total answer is 254. Now the most important thing is to make sure that the top numbers are greater than your bottom numbers, or else you cannot subtract. If the top numbers are smaller, you have to go next door and borrow 10 more. So let's do that one more time. All right, my math problem is 235 minus 149. So I need to build it. 230 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see my subtraction. Can I do 5 minus 9? Well, I have 5 here. Can I take away 9? No. More on the floor. Go next door and borrow 10 more. So take away the 3. The 3 becomes a 2. I hope you guessed it. And my 5 ones turns to 15 ones. So what that looks like in base 10, or what it looks like in the math world, we take that 10 and we give it to the ones. But I need to break that apart so then I can actually show you. So I need to put 10 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, And remember, I should have 15 ones total because that's my number up top. So I have 5, 10, 15. Notice I put them in tens frames. I put them in rows of 5. So now I can take 15 minus 9. So let's take away 9. Well, I know I have 5 on the bottom here, so I'm going to take that away quickly. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's see what I have left. I know I have 5 on the top, 5, 6. So that tells me that 15 minus 9 is 6. Again, double check on that number line if you need to. Pause the video, remember. All right, let's take a look at our tens place. 2 minus 4. 2, take away 4. So I have 2. I cannot take away 4 because 4 is too much. If it's more on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. Or in this case, we're borrowing from the hundreds place. So I take my 2, cross it off, it turns to a 1, 100. And I give the 100 that I borrowed to the tens place. So now I have 12 tens minus 4 tens. Well, I can easily do that because I'm borrowing from the hundreds place. I give this 100 to the tens, and now I need to break it apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Phew. Okay, now I can do it. 12 minus 4. Well, I have 12. Now I need to take away 4. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, just kidding. 3, 4. How many's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 tens left. So 12 minus 4 is 8. And now we go to the hundreds place and subtract. 1 minus 1. Well, I have 100. I'm taking 100 away. How many hundreds do I have left? None. So I could leave it alone, or I could put a 0. So my answer is 86. And it's shown by the base 10. So now let's do some practice without the base 10 blocks. So now this is when you need to get your whiteboard and your marker and your eraser, please. Do this quietly so Mrs. Van Horn is happy and that I'm happy. Especially Chase, Aaron, make sure you're not chit-chatting over there. So if you need to pause this to continue getting those materials, go ahead. Now let's do this first one together, and then you'll do this next one by yourself. So if you're not ready, again, pause it, play it when you're ready. I'm going to get going or else this video will be forever long. So I have 532 minus 379. So I take a look at my ones place. 2 minus 9. Well, more on the floor, that's right here, go next door. So I cannot do 2 minus 9. Cross off the 3 tens, take 1, it becomes 2. Give a 10 to the ones place. 12 minus 9. Go ahead, quickly do that. Pause me if you need to so the kids can do the work, but I'm going to count up 9, 10, 11, 12. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 3. Okay, let's subtract the tens place. 2 tens minus 7 tens. More on top, don't stop. Well, that's not the case. 2 is much smaller than 7. More on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So my 5 turns to a 4, and I give 10 to the tens place, or really it's a 100. So now I have 12 tens minus 7 tens. Well, count up. 7 up to 12. Pause me if you need to. It's 5. Did I beat you? All right, 4 minus 3. Really, how many numbers are between 4 and 3? Just one. There's just one on that number line. It's one hop. So our answer is 153. All right, double check yourself. Make sure you showed that work. Make sure you're doing it with me, not behind me, because if you're just copying, you're not learning. You need to do it for yourself, which is what we're going to do in our next problem. So pause me right now, solve this problem. When you're ready to get checked, unpause me. So More on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So my 7 turns to a 6. My 3 turns to a 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. 6 minus 9. Oh, more on the floor. I have to go next door. My 6, I'm giving 1 away, so it turns to a 5. And I'm giving that 10 away, or that 100 away, to the tens place, to the 6. So I have 16 minus 9. I'm going to tell you, make 10. 9 and 1 more is 10. And then you need just 6 more. So that's 7. Okay? 16 minus 9 is 7. Last but not least, our hundreds place. 5 minus 1 is 4. You should have gotten 475. All right, let's keep working. All right, some word problems. Remember, make sure you know what you're doing. We need to find those clue words, okay? There are 612 boys in East School. There are 138 fewer girls in the school. How many girls are there? Take a look, I have a typo. Remember, a typo means I was going too fast, and there's a mistake. No big deal, we can fix it. Okay, so there are 612 boys in the school. But there's 138 fewer girls. We're underlining that word fewer. So there's less than. So we're going to take away that, and we're going to take it away from how many boys there are. And that'll give us our answer of how many girls are there. Okay, let's solve. Pause me. I want you to solve it. Unpause me when you're ready. Okay, 2 minus 8. Can't do it. 2 is not big enough. So we take a 10 from next door. My 1 turns to a 0. My 2 turns to a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. 0 minus 3. Well, if you have 0, you can't take any more away. We don't have any more. So we have to go next door and borrow 10 more. My 600s turns to 500s, and my 0 tens now turns to 10 tens, which really means 100. So now I have 10 minus 3, and I know 3 and 7 makes 10. That means 10 minus 3 is 7. So last but not least, our hundreds. 5 minus 1. Easy. 4. Our answer is 474. So if we were to write an answer sentence, there are 474 girls. That's the answer. Okay, let's keep going. And again, if you don't finish this by this afternoon, please continue this work the next day or whenever you have math time. All right, this page is important because in your math workbook, you will have to do some problems that look like this, and sometimes it's really tricky. All right, so we need to regroup hundreds, tens, and ones. So I have 326. Well, I first need to regroup the ones. So check it out. I have 3 hundreds, that's the same. I have 2 tens. Well, and I still have 6 ones. Nothing's changed there. But take a look now. I have 3 hundreds, 1 10. So they took away a 10, they made it a 1, and they gave it to the ones place. So now we have 16 ones. Okay, now we have 2 hundreds. So they took 100 away, which makes it 2, and they gave it to the tens place. So now we have 2 hundreds, 11 tens, and still 16 ones because that doesn't change. Phew, this part I think is a little bit tricky, but please pay attention to it because again, you have that workbook page that you'll need this information for. Let's try another one. We have 517, which equals 500s, 110, and 7 ones. So our ones place is fine. Check the bottom part, 400s. Oh boy, they already went to the 400s. So that must mean that, well, this one's a little tricky. I don't have my book in front of me, but we had to have borrowed from the ones place, which would turn it to a 0, and give the ones place, I'm sorry, let me back up. I think I said ones place too many times. I have to borrow from the tens place, so my 10 becomes 0, and now I have 17 ones. But remember, we're borrowing all the way through, so I need to cross off my 5 because if you take a look at the screen, they already have 4. So that means I had to borrow the 100 and I had to give it next door. So this one's a little confusing. So I have 4 hundreds, I have 10 tens, there I go again saying that wrong, 10 tens, and 17 ones. Shoo, tricky stuff. Okay, let's do a couple more problems. You will need your whiteboard and you will need to pause me. Okay, so go ahead and pause me, solve this problem. Alrighty, 2 minus 7. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So my 6 turns to 5 tens. My 1s turns to 12 ones. Well, 12 minus 7 is 5. 5 minus 3. More on top, don't stop. Ooh, we're good. 5 minus 3, easy, 2. And 8 minus 5. More on top, don't stop, 3. 325. Awesome. Go ahead and solve this next problem. Pause me. Unpause me when you are ready to check your answer. Okay, more on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more. So I have 2 tens now and 11 ones. Well, 11 minus 5. Well, I know 5 and 5 more is 10, but I need 11. So I have 5 makes 10 plus 1 more is 6. So 6 and 5, 6 plus 5 is 11. So we're good there. Let's look at our tens. 2 minus 4. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow 10 more or 100 more. So my 9 turns to an 8 and my 2 tens, because we had to borrow, is now 12 tens. So now I can do 12 minus 4. And I know that is 8 because fact fluency. We got to practice that fact fluency. Now I can subtract my hundreds. 8 minus 2 is 6. 686. Alrighty. Another problem. Pause me, unpause me when you're ready to when you're ready to check your answer. Okay. 7 minus 4. More on top, don't stop. 7 minus 4 is 3. 1 minus 2. Can't do it. More on the floor. Oop, that's the wrong spot. Go next door. So I have to borrow from the hundreds. My 5 turns to 4 hundreds. And my tens, my 110, turns to 11 tens. So now I can do 11 minus 2. Well, I know 8 plus 2 is 10, but I need 11, so I need 8, and 1 more is 9. So 11 minus 2 is 9. 4 minus 2 is 2, because you know 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, last problem on this page. Go ahead and solve, pause me and solve, and then check, unpause me. 3 minus 3, 0. 2 minus 8. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and get 100 more. So my 7 turns to a 6, my 2 tens turns to 12 tens. 12 minus 8. Well, count up, it's easier. 8 all the way to 12 is 4. And I have 6 minus nothing, which is 6. Super fabulous. Alrighty, my friends, make sure you're doing this by yourself. Make sure you are trying. Make sure you're doing it before you're checking your work with me. All right, another page. just a couple more. Again, you don't have to finish this video today. Maybe pause at this point and redo it tomorrow. Instead of any of those worksheets, it's cooler to listen to me, I think. All right, whiteboard, let's go. Pause me, unpause me when you're ready to check. All right, more on the floor, go next door, borrow 10 more. My 1 turns to a 0. My 1 turns to 11 ones. 9 or 11 minus 9 is 2. 0 minus 4. You can't do that. There's 0. That's way less. Go next door and borrow 10 more. Now we are going to give that 10 or that 100 to the tens place. Now we have 10 minus 4 is 6. And 3 minus 3 is 0. We can leave it blank. Or you could put the 0. All right, next problem. Again, solve it on your own and then check with me. 1 minus 7. Can't do it. Go next door and borrow 10 more. I wonder how many times I've said that so far in this video. Yikes. All right, 11 minus 7. Well, I know 7 and 3 makes 10, and I just need 1 more. So it's 4. Again, double check yourself. Check that number line. We need to get these facts in our brains fast. All right, tens place. 1 minus 5. Nope. More on the floor. Go next door. And we're borrowing really 100. So my 9 turns to an 8. And I can give it to the tens place. 11 minus 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 6. Now I can do my hundreds place. 8 minus 7 is 1. 164. All right, couple word problems. Actually, just one word problem, and then I'm going to challenge you to a larger problem. So hold on tight. Couple more left. Alrighty. A hotel room has 327 rooms. 258 of the rooms are being used. Okay, well 258 are being used. That means they're taken up. So how many rooms are open? So how many are open? Well, if there's 327 rooms total, remember the other day I drew this diagram. If there's that many rooms total and 258 of them are being used, how many are left? So we are solving this part. So how many are left? Well, let me type this one. So we need to take our total. 327. We are taking away what's being used, 258, because we can't use those. And when we solve this, I'm going to take away, we're going to find how many rooms are left for us to use. So pause me, solve it, unpause, check yourself. All right, 7 minus 8. You cannot do it. There is more on the floor. Go next door and borrow 10 more. The 2 turns to a 1. The 7 turns to 17. Now, 17 minus 8. Well, I know 8 and 2 more is 10. And I need to get to 17. So 7, I need 7 more. So 7 and 2 more is 9. Double check the number line because that is a hard skill for us to get. I just want to keep saying it so you can start to practice that and get these math facts faster. Okay, tens place. Let's subtract. 1 minus 5. Nope. More on the floor. Go next door. My 300s turns to 200s, and I'm giving 100 to the 110. So I have 11 tens minus 5 tens, which is 6 tens. Subtract your hundreds place. 2 minus 2 is 0, or just 69. So if I were to write an answer sentence, how many rooms are open? There are 69 rooms open. Notice I used most of the words from the question. How many rooms are open? There are 69 rooms open. Easy peasy. Okay, now this is the challenge for you. I have a feeling that one of the math papers I gave you left over has this, the thousands place. So it's the same thing. Just check to make sure the numbers on top are more, and then you can keep going. If they're not, that's when you need to borrow. So let's do it. So 8 minus 9. Well, let me back up. I have 7,548 minus 5,149. 8 minus 9. Oh, more on top? No. More on the floor? Go next door and borrow 10 more. My 4 becomes a 3, and my 8 becomes an 18. Now I have 18 minus 9. Well, I know my doubles. 9 and 9 is 18. So 18 minus 9 is 9. Now I have 3 minus 4. I can't do it. 3 is too small. Go next door and borrow 10 more. In this case, you're borrowing 100. So my 3 turns to a 13. So now I have 13 minus 4. Well, count up or count backwards. Counting backwards would be easier. It is 9. Now subtract your hundreds place. 4 minus 1 is 3. Put my comma in there to represent thousands. 7 minus 5 is 2. My answer is 2,399. Now I'm going to remind you, this is a level 4. In second grade, we are not expected to be able to subtract past 100. But I wanted to challenge you because I know challenging you and your brain is what makes you smarter. If you're struggling and you're frustrated, that's okay. That's when you're learning the most. Last one, pause me, try it yourself. 2 minus 6, more on the floor, go next door. Take a 10 from the 7, so it becomes 6. And now I have 12 ones minus 6 ones. 6 and 6 makes 12. 6 minus 4. More on top, don't stop. 6 minus 4 is 2. Now I do my hundreds place. Subtract 1 minus 4. You can't do that. So I take away from the thousands. That turns to a 0. Give the 1,000 to the 100. So now I have 11 hundreds minus 4 hundreds. So that's really just 11 minus 4. Well, that is 7. And check your thousands place. Well, it turned to a 0, and I don't have any thousands to subtract from, so it's really just 0. I'm going to leave it blank. Awesome. Wow. That was a ton of work. So I'm going to put myself back on the screen. Whew, are you tired yet? I wonder, because of course I'm not there, I'm wondering if that took you 2 days. I don't know. If it did, that's awesome. If it did not, wow, that was really fast. But I want to remind you, please, please listen so carefully to Mrs. Van Horn, or another substitute if she's not there for some reason. You guys are smart. You know what you should be doing. Please keep that voice level down when you're supposed to. You don't want to lose your snack time. You don't want to lose any lunch or recess time. So please make sure you're listening carefully and doing exactly what you would be doing if I was in the room. All right, my friends, I will see you very soon, and keep up the great work.